In the beginning, there was perfection, a paradise crafted by the divine hand, where every creature lived in harmony and every need was met in abundance. This sacred place, the Garden of Eden, was the cradle of humanity, home to Adam and Eve, the first of God's creations to walk the earth. Before we dive in, we'd love your support. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. Your kind gesture will provide us with the motivation and encouragement we need to keep creating engaging content. But within this idyllic setting lay the seeds of temptation, a test that would forever alter the course of human history. In our previous exploration, we unveiled the mystery of the serpent in Genesis, revealing that this cunning being was not merely a snake. Today, we delve into another profound question that has intrigued scholars and believers alike. Was the fruit of the tree of knowledge truly an apple? It has been over 3 centuries since John Milton immortalized the tale of humanity's fall in his epic poem, Paradise Lost. His vivid portrayal etched in our minds the image of a talking serpent, a forbidden tree, and an apple that symbolized mankind's original sin. Picture the scene. Eve stands beneath the tree of knowledge, its branches heavy with the forbidden fruit. The serpent, embodying the very essence of deception, whispers words of temptation. Eve, captivated by the allure of wisdom and divinity, reaches out and takes a piece of the fruit. Milton's description of Eve biting into a juicy sweet apple has become ingrained in our cultural consciousness. This single act would break the sacred covenant with God, unleashing sin and death into a once perfect world. But let us pause and ask, what was this fruit that Eve held in her hand? Many of us envision an apple, thanks to countless depictions in art and literature. However, a closer examination of the Holy Scriptures reveals a different story. The book of Genesis, in its original text, does not mention an apple at all. The passage reads, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any other wild creature that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, 'Did God say you shall not eat of any tree of the garden?' And the woman said to the serpent, 'We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But God said, You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.' But the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.' When Eve saw that the tree was good for food and a delight to the eyes, she took its fruit and ate, sharing it with Adam. Then their eyes were opened, and they knew they were naked, sewing fig leaves together to cover themselves." Isn't it strange? The word apple is conspicuously absent. How then did this fruit come to be synonymous with original sin? To uncover the truth, we journey back to the 4th century AD. Scholars suggest that the confusion arose from a Latin pun. In Latin, malum means both evil and apple, stemming from the Greek word melon, which refers to any tree fruit. This linguistic twist found its way into the Bible when Pope Damasus commissioned Saint Jerome to translate the Hebrew scriptures into Latin, creating the Vulgate. Jerome used the word malum for the Hebrew peri, a term encompassing any seed-bearing fruit. Thus, the forbidden fruit could have been anything from a fig to a pomegranate, a grape to an apricot. Consider this. When Adam and Eve realized their nakedness, they covered themselves with fig leaves. This detail, seemingly minor, offers a significant clue. The fig, not the apple, emerges as a likely candidate for the fruit of the tree of knowledge. His interpretation gains further weight when we examine Jesus' later act of cursing a fig tree, a symbolic gesture steeped in profound meaning. Throughout history, artists and theologians have grappled with this mystery. While Michelangelo's depiction of the fall in the Sistine Chapel shows fig leaves, other artists like Albrecht Dürer and Lucas Cranach chose apples, influenced by the medieval European tradition. The apple, with its red hue symbolizing blood and its round shape representing fertility and temptation, became entrenched in Christian imagery through the works of Renaissance masters and John Milton's Paradise Lost. The Ghent altarpiece featured a citron, Ferrari's Eve, tempted by the serpent, used an apricot, and Rubens' The Fall of Man depicted a pomegranate. Yet, in Islamic tradition, the forbidden fruit is often considered a fig or an olive, further diversifying the interpretations. The rich tapestry of religious symbolism reminds us that the essence of the story lies not in the type of fruit, but in the act of disobedience and the loss of innocence. As God entered the garden, seeking Adam and Eve, they hid, ashamed of their nakedness and aware of their transgression. God's questions were not for his own enlightenment, but for their confession. "Where are you?" he called. Adam emerged, shifting blame to Eve, who in turn pointed to the serpent. This moment marked humanity's first confession, followed by the first penance, the itchy, uncomfortable fig leaves that symbolized their newfound awareness and suffering. Imagine the discomfort of wearing fig leaves, the itchiness and irritation, a constant reminder of their disobedience. These crude garments were humanity's first act of penance, a foreshadowing of the suffering that sin brings. So, dear viewers, as we reflect on this age-old story, let us remember that the true lesson lies not in the specifics of the fruit, but in the moral and spiritual truths it imparts. The narrative of the fall is a profound reminder of the consequences of disobedience and the enduring hope of redemption. What do you think about the idea that the fruit of the tree of knowledge might not have been an apple? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the sacred texts. Until next time, may your quest for knowledge be ever fruitful. I request you to support us by liking the video, subscribing to our channel, and hitting the bell icon. This generous act of yours will give us encouragement and power. May God bless you.